My mother tried to rip the ring from my swollen finger at our holiday dinner and snarled, "You feminist witch, you've destroyed everything I taught you." When my fiancés pleaded with her to stop, she shrieked, "You destroyed my daughter. She was supposed to be perfect." I didn't say a word. That was 9 months ago. This morning she left me a frantic voicemail begging me to forgive her. Ever since my sister Anna and I were little, our home felt like a finishing school for perfect wives. We had to walk through the house balancing textbooks on our heads while carrying trays of snacks, and if we spilled even a drop, we scrubbed the kitchen window with a toothbrush until our knuckles bled. At bedtime, we practiced saying, "Whatever you think is best, dear, and I'm sorry for speaking out of turn." I hated it. But Anna loved it by 16. She was ironing her boyfriend Marcus's shirts before school and packing his lunch with love notes like, "I exist to make you happy." Instead of worrying that her teenage daughter was acting like a 1950s housekeeper, Mom rewarded Anna with a fancy stand mixer. I still craved her approval, so I threw myself into school. Yearbook, debate club, a ton of volunteer work, and somehow I became every teacher's favorite. When Harvard's business program accepted me, I ran up to show her the letter. She tossed it in the trash and sighed, "I wish you put this much effort into finding a nice man to look after you." A week later, I found Anna with a black eye, poorly covered by cheap concealer. When I asked what happened, she laughed. "Marcus just loves me so much he can't control himself." That was the moment I realized I'd lost her, determined to earn one nod of approval. That summer before college, I dated the worst guy I could find, Kyle, who tracked my every move, read every text, and insulted my friends. I knew it was wrong. But on the 4th of July, when I brought him home and Mom actually hugged me for the first time in 2 years, I convinced myself it was worth it. Then I met David. He listened, surprised me with thoughtful dates, and never once checked my phone. 5 years later, I graduated with honors. I'd been in therapy for months, and I finally believed my family might accept my happiness. That holiday morning, I knocked on the door full of hope. Anna opened it, looking like a ghost, bruises peeking from under her sweater, and accused, "You're humiliating him in front of everyone." Before I could react, Mom grabbed my wrist, her nails digging in, and saw my engagement ring. "You feminist witch, you've destroyed everything." "I taught you," she snarled, yanking at the band so hard my finger turned purple. Anna pinned me in place as David dialed 911. Mom lunged for his throat with a kitchen knife, screaming, "You destroyed my daughter." By the time the paramedics arrived, my finger was dislocated and cut deeply. In the weeks that followed, David and I blocked every number Mom's Anna's. Even distant cousin's Ann changed every password. He helped me delete years of photos in a single morning, each deletion feeling like cutting a rope that had tied me down. My coworkers noticed my bandaged finger. I blamed a kitchen accident and moved on. Then the calls to my office began. My boss, Clara, called me in and said, "Your mother claims you stole heirlooms worth thousands and that David is controlling you." My heart sank. I showed her the police report from that night. She softened and warned me to file harassment charges or risk losing my promotion. My sister Rachel, who works at a law firm, became our savior. We spent evenings at her kitchen table documenting every call, every lie, every neighbor check. By the time we filed, we had pages of evidence, and that only made Mom more creative. She showed up at our simple courthouse wedding 4 months later in her Sunday best, dragging cousin Eric behind her and screaming about how I'd been brainwashed by feminism. Security escorted her out, and the judge extended our restraining order for 10 years, but she didn't stop. She spammed my former professors with false claims of academic theft, shredded my interview suits and pinned Bible verses to the hangers, and scrawled, "I brought you into this world. I can take you out in red lipstick on my vanity mirror." Her sabotage drove away a major client worth millions and forced me to take a temporary position at a smaller firm. The turning point came in court. Anna, bruises fading, but her voice strong, described how Mom called Marcus's workplace nearly 20 times to get him fired, just like she'd tried to destroy my life. Security footage showed Mom meticulously cutting my garments and writing death threats on my mirror. The jury watched in stunned silence and found her guilty on every count: harassment, cyberstalking, identity theft, breaking and entering, and making criminal threats. As she was led away in handcuffs, she didn't cry. She simply stared at me with hollow eyes, convinced she'd been saving me. Now, David and I live quietly behind a new security system. Anna moved in with us for a while and started therapy to unlearn a childhood of obedience drills. We celebrate Sunday dinners with his family, where his sisters taught her how a real family cares. Last month, we renewed our vows at a small ceremony. Without drama, surrounded by friends who cheered instead of jeered, Mom is serving 18 months at a halfway house 2 states away. banned from seeing us for 10 years. She still writes letters filled with Bible verses and warnings about my eternal soul, but I burn them unread. This isn't just survival, it's reclamation. I'm no longer the girl who whispered apologies while balancing books on her head. I'm someone who knows her worth, who fought for every scrap of peace, and who won't stop fighting, because some battles weren't meant to break youth, they were meant to make you unbreakable.